Welcome to I Was There Digitally with Antoinette, where we go over TikTok drama, YouTube drama, where were they now, and pretty much anything that is tea. This is for educational purposes only, but for like tea, you know? There'll be slight judgment or a lot of judgment. It's up to you. Today, we're going to be talking about the caveman girly skincare method that took TikTok by storm. So, if you like this type of content, before we get into it, please like, subscribe, and leave your comments down below. Let's get into it. Let me introduce you to Tia Zahar. She is an Egyptian girly who lives in Montreal, and most of her content before then has been mostly like her talking about how she's fun employed.
Spend the morning with me as an unemployed 22-year-old. I went to Barry's, loved it. Maybe I shouldn't have worked out on that jacket, but got a smoothie, and then we drove around. Boston has the cutest dogs. They're so adorable. And then we went to Greystone, had my final breakfast. This was my last morning in Boston before.
And I guess she lost her job at some point. She does a lot of kind of get ready with me's, spend the day with me with a fun employed 22-year-old, and things like that. She also talks about interviews that she's done, but people have started to notice, like when you kind of go back to some of her older videos, her skin starts to look more and more textured. And somebody who was, I guess, a little bit rude, because I don't think we should be making comments on people's skin, honestly, out of nowhere if they didn't bring it up themselves. But I digress. But I'm also a little bit thankful for this person because we're here now. Because Mama loves tea. And honestly, she looks like a fun girly. Looks like a fun girly. Looks like she's having a good time. Looks like she doesn't really need a job to live because she's been fun employed for a minute and still has a place to live. So, someone asked, what is actually happening to your skin? I don't get it. And she ends up talking about how she's doing the caveman skincare method. What is that, do you ask? Like, why are we trying to be cavemen? I don't know. Didn't they only live to 25? Yes. Yes, you would be right. You would be right. But let's get the definition before we go into what she ended up telling us. So, the caveman skincare method is where you do nothing to your skin, including avoidance of washing, moisturizing, sunscreen, and anything else. What do they say? It's the paleo diet of skincare. Not even water, which I feel like is a little bit extreme. But I don't know. Is that just me? Is it just me? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Okay, so let's look into the video where she ends up giving details on what's happening with her skin.
What you're seeing is dead skin that's gonna flake off eventually, while like new healthy skin forms underneath. Like there's already some patches where you can see that new skin. I've basically stopped all skincare, I'm not using any water, and I'm just letting my barrier rebuild itself naturally. But yeah, for years I picked and over exfoliated and damaged my skin really badly, so it's just gonna take time. My skin is basically just shedding all the damage and attempting to re-regulate itself.
So she says that the reason why her skin, not to be rude, but looks like cornflakes on there. I mean, it looks like a buildup of dead skin. That's what it looks like. Okay. So she's saying that she stopped using everything, including water. And as a nurse, I wouldn't recommend. I wouldn't recommend. So she stopped using everything. And she's saying that like it's a build up because she used to be a picker. And as someone who is a bit of a picker myself, like I love to a squeeze around a picker. I love to do that. I get it. I don't really understand what she means by at this point. I still don't think it makes sense with the level of dead skin that she has building up. I still don't think it makes sense. And as somebody, if it was me, because it's been 6 weeks since she started this. If this was me, I'd be like, let me go see a dermatologist. And lots of people have brought that up. There have been lots of comments being like, girly, this is not normal. People saying caveman didn't make it to age 30, babe. Someone tagged me when she finally finds out someone tagged me when she finally finds out it's a fungal infection. Yikes. Are you American perchance? Ow. You're not using water? I'm sorry, but that's so unhygienic, which agreed. Agreed. Most of the time when she comments back, people are saying, she's like, I have seen a dermatologist. I have seen a dermatologist. They say everything is fine, which I feel like she's lying because, like, I don't think any dermatologist looking at her skin would be like, yeah, everything's fine. Keep doing what you're doing. I think they would be like, wash your face, girly. So then she's made, she makes more videos. Then she has other videos where it feels like she's dressed up, she's wearing eyeliner, but her face is covered, like here, 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 here. So some people are very skeptical about what's going on. I personally am not skeptical. I think that she is actually has like something like dermatitis neglectica, which is something that a lot of people who are unhoused um, get because they just can't wash their face, they can't do anything, they don't have any access to anything, and it can cause, and it's a build up of skin cells and dirt, but also it could be what is called hyperkeratosis, which is like an overproduction of skin cells and of dead skin cells. So I think it could be either one of those, and other physicians have weighed in.
It's absolutely true that there are many facial skin issues that can significantly improve when you put the brakes on skincare routines, especially if you're allergic to something in your skincare. But you can also develop facial skin conditions as a result of not washing your face. This is a condition known as dermatitis neglecta. It happens in people who stop washing their faces either because maybe they don't have the ability to, or maybe they're afraid to because of various reasons. And it results in this buildup of basically dead skin cells that kind of take on this brownish, yellowish appearance. The scaliness is described as cornflake-like. Like if you ever eat a bowl of cornflakes, just think of like sticking that on your face. That's kind of the nature of the scale. And once you start washing your face, it goes away. Also, seborrheic dermatitis can get worse when you don't wash your face because of the oily buildup that favors overgrowth of malassezia.
So she did end up making an update and saying that she's now going to include water into her skincare routine. And honestly, I'm going to have to say it, girly, I think we're way past that. I think we're way past just water at this point. I think we're going to need some BHA, AHA, and a washcloth. But that's just my 2 cents. I'm sorry, but her skin, it just does not look right. It does not look right. And a lot of people are like, this is rage bait, this is rage bait. And I don't think this is rage bait. I think that she's actually doing this. I think she actually thinks this is healing her skin barrier. And it's not. It's just covering it and suffocating it. And she's responded a lot to the fact that a lot of people now think that it's a conspiracy theory. Um, there have been a lot of different ideas, like some people saying it was like the Aztec clay mask, which I personally disagree with, but let's look at this TikTok lady who actually did did a video trying to see if that's what it could be.
An infection, while others are saying that it's actually this mask, the Aztec bentonite clay mask with pressed powder over top. So is this rage? I think that she would have to add like a very thin layer. So that is what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to let this dry down a little bit, because when it dries, it does get kind of crackly like you see in her videos. And let me make sure beauty filter is turned off. Very thin layer on top. Let's wait for this to dry, and then we are going to add the loose powder. Switching to my back camera so you can really see the texture that we're getting here. As it dries, it does get crackly. I'm gonna press it onto the parts that already are still wet to see if that kind of has an effect on the texture. Oh no, if you can see it changing. I'm literally getting powder everywhere. And before, people definitely had more of like a flesh color to it. Like this looks like a face mask. This looks like a mud mask. Okay, we're fully dry now with the bentonite clay mask and the loose powder over top. I don't know, guys. Hers looks like a lot.
And as you can see, I feel like she debunked that because like there is more texture to this than that. There's way more texture to this than that. And I'm like, unless she's some type of like, I don't know, like film makeup artist, then I don't think that I think that this is real. Also, another lady ended up finding out, like, because she did some research, and I'll show you her video, but she did some research and found a post from her from Reddit from like almost a year ago. And so it seems like she's done this before, this whole like caveman skincare. And she had questions for Reddit about the buildup of her of the buildup of dead skin. And so I think that's really that part I feel like is very interesting. So she's done this before.
I think I have a big update about Caveman Skin Girl. That's her, right? This is the same person as that. Like, same face, same chin structure, same little bumps in the lip. But this is from a Reddit post 341 days ago. And how I found this was because I have no life at the moment and asked ChatGPT to evaluate her skin condition without using the text. And when I plugged in skin barrier desquamation, like one post on Reddit popped up, and it was that girl with her eyes blocked out.
Obviously, then she stopped, and then she's doing it again because now she says she's like 7 weeks in. I do think some of the parts about this that is like, is that she is getting a lot of, what's the word for it? A lot of like hate for this, a lot of really negative comments. And I think that's unfair. I think that's unfair. I think people kind of need to leave her alone. Seems like it's a bit of a canon event, and she is at the point where this is just what she wants to do. But we got to look at what some of the doctors were saying, were thinking. We got to look at some of the conspiracy theories, and we got to look at some of the comments. But now I want to hear what you guys think. What does this make you feel like? It does make me feel like I was someone with also OCD. I want to like scrub and wash my face. I also want to come over there and be like, um, yeah. Also, there was one point where she had this marathon. She did a marathon, and I guess from the sweat and everything, that's where a lot of people started to think it was fake because it looked like wet. But I'm like, it's dead skin. It's going to look wet if she sweats, you know? So what do you guys think? Do you think this is just rage bait? Do you think this is real? Let me know in the comments. If you'd like more content like this, please like, subscribe, and press that bell so that you can get notifications for next time I upload. Love you, mean it. Bye. And remember, I was there digitally.